Fa Kokrokoo media ni Mala 2 as a 3D air hawa ebitu asiama wo Mala 2 Nada Romania discussion every war benefit transit the enche bia na yere nkomo Me offer ha mo me ni fie nkomo kakra di fie nkomo kakra wi a na de Ghana de na to aso me ne me offer e betu ade nkomo fie nkomo a wi kwa na asore ya na de ho obi ne offer ase man prat
Master, yes sir.
Offer ma fi o
Oh master, na kan say na ya fifi ho.
Akwa. Eh de ofre boko de
Boko.
ensam na si wachi wo fa okọ de wachi nye ensam asisi papa
But I call from there.
Oh nyame adom eja ekonkon ho bi konkon ho ebi so ya na ba bi e be ye no a ba wo fa me wa dance ye se dua na wo de bre me no ha last week na me try bi hwe na me se ofa you know the wardrobe no oh ofa ade na ye correct
Wow.
Ye correct papa kire say me num bi no endi 5 hours kwa na me hu say ade na ye adwuma.
Wow.
Ti
Me say asem papa.
oh asem papa ofa asem papa na no azekodro me ho na oye no say na ofa dua na o ma obi no na me say Isaac nya abotre ade na me ofa de ma me no onya nhira so ma me se me mfa ma obi antitobo me ofa ba me bona mane eti me bona mane na me ofa hira so ma me wi na afi mama ni bi no no so akwadua bi oni fie o
say Isaac you kan ho nti ono woman bi akanya boni
sa wo ene ofa wa kan de mama ni bi
yes
mama ni bi ofa akwa good to have you back
yes,
de nyame ase pa na enra finance minister kan budget no na baby de na me twen pa se nka obeka no wi anan ma from ofa so ofa ade na aye ko hu no wayi o ofa ka sanitary na ne ka ho asem no
no ani masem asem bi ni ho meka ka ho bi
me so no na me so be
ani masem se wan ka ho hwe kura
ne refi ya na
we ya de zo refi ade aga na mai na so mu din aka ho asem aye ho o ye kire ne ade ina no wa moso ba kupo na mi mama eno aye nkofo kwotran parliament a seka omukuti so be ka ho bibi masa wa mo ho wapo na emi hu kakra because masa emai ye mamenum ye nuanom ye yirenom na dia homo famu no ena hwehwemu a nkofo aye enuma pipie no that time na semu ni ko kan de ubo krata bia semu mo kan se emayiwa no mofra na afi no mo di 13 14 na nyimo anu mo nyu na ehwe mu se di ntipa na wo mo nyim sa no ade ba ko ebepi mu ni se wo mo e kan say wo mo komfitira
boso me no so a
padi wo mo ntumi nto enti wo mo nya mmemma bi a na mmemma na mo ska so mfa nkoto padi isu ska ye mfa ma free odi ma na onu bu hu kunta eno na ma teenage pregnancy no epeja kosrosa we wo mo ankasa ne koye studies di betuda na masa ehadrin pa sa sanitary party a ye de taxes egusu bebrebe sa na se the taxes po egusu keka bia ke be fan sa ye se de nti ye de taxes na egusu no se a luxury product
pardon
na pardon ye de ne koye luxury product ma any demo musu a obi enti wo mosam ene ewo mu equity budget ni antihwe amfa luxury party hu tiamsa campaign no ana ibesmukina na yakoso ye campaign sane ebeya aban beti masu na sanitary pad na ne boye dindin a omuntumi nto no ebeya hu bibi a ye hu bibi anye yie kura no wode yemfa measures simple measures bimra emayo na ewo school no wo mu betumi anya padi bi dia ye wo mu hu ye na mayo wo school say masa and that's some kids wo Nasam kitwa. Unim say nam sa pad board in the abenti. Am I really be clean to me in school? On to me in school. The period the bad no just school ko.
Baako bi a news wo ha ye ko ye oni omo kasa o se oko school e na ne ho sey e na ne namfofo na omo sere no nti every ho decide say
school no go bi
onsi obi young girl no be 13 onya 14
masa no kure meti 1 2 3 be 4 cases bia young girls omo ko school na say omo nya omo period na emoja ye omo tade mu ne sesere on no just school no abetinu fi on ko bi nti ya dia ehu hia ma pa ka ya ban odwene hu yie ɛna anye yie kro titi taxes ye wo period nyoma ihu a ɛsɛ enye pad ne pɛ ɛsɛ bibi wo ha efre no cap ne adi na na ya tutu
animal lioness
ya tutu na woni mi aba
there be offer
masa ya reho afi ni aba ni say ɛnam sɛ pad ne boy din ti ɛma ne bi wo ha omu yusu ye friend say pampers pampers no onya ba ko a no the boy the whole day ne bo no na it means soku moja iso a kama ana doctor for ba be ka say ade no di bo ho a cha a few hours na say osisa was why nyen say na di ko bo ho no pa kopim enyimra ubenya yare e ma yare enti mana omo yusu e friend saying pampers no yare nko a omunya yare so mbekọ hospital okọ hospital e ka da ho aban befa masa enya ka kitwa okọ hospital yedi yesidi kosisa dollars ne dia kokra duro ni ade emo ayen ana enamu yare no so yade a emo man bi ampuntu onyam chan enti omo yusu e friend saying pampers ni ade na enam se pad ni ade no bo na kwaye dinti no almost yare an omo yare so na emi nwanwa emi hu se itimi koye media budget review a sa ayi period samni pampers samni ade yantimi anka ho hwe be busumi a etwemu ene ekomra hye bedwam ho na yene speaker of parliament ora Abdingbagin ekokasa ubekaya
o me kai pa
na eni hupo se ya yes ade no kasa ho yie pa kaso no obedi mu akutini pa se ne be ya sa tax on sanitary products no be ye free ho ye hwe ebi ya kan budget ye wi obesa pija sa asem na ba ne aka ni biem yo se no de alabraka eduane boa ye den ka boa ye den petrol boa ye den ni ade na sanitary parts no so ya de a ehuhia pa edika ese ka ho sem yi pa me feri masa me feri say yamma especially womo enche dan yin kwachire no young girls 13 14 15 na adesu nya se upa na unya biological natural busumi so a dole moja ibeba na moja iba no munya baby mfamfa na ye huro won school na ye sere won school no muja school no mo yare ni ade ha bi pa ebia ye gusu ken ebia ndani ochina yi eye finance minister ni aban ba be cancer sanitary pad no hasam ni bia chere na omo
ana ofa e asoja for nom this can brain omo wo ndi esuro
asoja for we
nya me for no
asa we dey so bia tiase IMF kura so tiase so bia tiase enuma bi edisika ye wo ye mamu ha na de compare we ya enuma bi a edisika ye ofani nyame na meka enuma bi edisika ye wo krumu ha na hwe bra ema bre ema yama bra wo mo bre na etimu sa se etimu kwa aden ema boni ben pa na Ghana mbade aye aban nti ase ti ye hwe se ye hwe
asemo but over beyond we no nura budget you sure say ultimate kakra na wanya bia kenkan kakra ne ade na apart from my hano sign draw attention o hwe ho no kakra odwen ho kakra
opani nukura wo mu ni say ebra ye call IMF my nhihye BSC bi diso no samre ne akan budget na wi enti budget ye for afi no and shut down for IMF nhihye ne ade no anya dwuma enti media review and a buying edisa IMF nhihye a omode ma won so mu diso no odi ahihye it is a media review largely IMF budget. What is American answer? This media review IMF agreement now ye koye ya near kind budget every no. And no any day as a ship. Na usha budget na pa edikan. A austerity budget to the extent to say a buying pesca edi akutua eka wodi so nye kakitwa enti entoboa taxes na de no epeja kwosro pa na ni na kan hyehyɛ ya ebema yenye ska bi na edi akutua eka na eda ho no nti eno ye number 1 etosu mienu so wo hwa aban kasankasa no ebra all kind budget this year no ade ba ko di tu dwan say ka inflation kure kan twi mu saying ka inflation target no na nka ebeye efren saying 28% ho baby this year ka say epeja ya could do 42-43%. Now we revision on my year downwards now. Masa still a buru ni omankasa ebe shafie na se no omuka se ibinya say nam 31.3%. I no so still na no e wo soro pa na no podi masa so wo hwe inflation rate na hwe ne ekoso odwamu a esusu ya wo mu no suyi papa last week and I'm who dokunu na do 5 cedis. Opening dokunu do 3 cedis. Isuma yesu no promo. Last week ni kotia dokunu enkran dokunu ye bo 5 cedis enkran dokunu. Na wo fie na woni wo yire ene mofra miensa ene tia. Na so you wadwin say wo de won konu coca oats. Enkodi custard. Enkodi bacon ni ekeka ho na de dokunu ya na abedi se ni de sase ni mamu aiden a ene dokunu 5 cedis akwara ensu ni di na de enfanse dokunu 5 cedis kwa akwara ebesu ni di a na mu ye num na mutifi anopa no dokunu no nko a o mekomba china mumba 25 cedis nimpa he ene ye duma wo Ghana ha wo makotua dakoro edu 25 cedis eno dokunu no nko a o mekombae chinamumbae wudidi wiabe no musuo eno so nka ho na wuwia wafa ka e de akwadwuma masa na akodu adwuma mu a se wiabe ba ewia ne ba eno so bedidi en na de den na de afa ka na wasan de akofi nti ahokyere ne de masa ye wom pampi ye wom na ade be yi afiri ahokyere mu no minya hunu sade no eyina nim ya ka se Ghana ahokyere no ne kese afiri yankasa ye japade a enni wo yembiem ye japade a ye di sabio tafrache ye di ache na ejapade ye tua ye nya ho mfaso bia no enu ne ade a ha ye titiri pa ka ye hu bibia kebeyi budget me hu bibia che se efri neko ye gold ye diamond ye bauxite ni ye keka ho no ebe wo Ghana man anase be wo Ghana man for na ye tuso a ye be fa kwan bi so a emfaso a yida no ebe kosoro man ti bibia sa wo budget no empanifo akasa kire ya say oh Ghana de kakuayo ebe boa ye ema esikasem no akoyie eso anye yie kura no ye wo tropics nsuo to kama wo ha aman bi wo ha nsuo to ba ko pe afi omo 1 rainy season ebi kura wo ho dia be 3-4 months no kura de omunya snow yi wo ye hwe wo mu a enye yie yen tie yie hwe weather ye wo se sutuna ye wo ni ade akakua yo no kebebo aye pa openi enu so adatina
that I say planting for food and jobs phase 2
oh master no won ferry you need to grow me ferry say planting for food and jobs no anko yie no
oh ntino I say phase 2 ba wo fa
phase 1 anko yie phase 2 no na be ko yie
ebia
well just an pay nana ya me bay ana mititi mu fidi mititi bi mi re hoye lecturer bi o Cape Coast yes a friend of Professor John Gachi
John Gachi yeah
asamba no kana no pay osin tomatoes Burkina Faso nkwa ya kra tomatoes $600 million afibiara tomatoes ntos se Burkina hankwa 600 million afibia na tomatoes dua so de te say any aye planting for food and jobs 7 years ni and feel so ni between the tomatoes near kra tomatoes $600 million afibiara every Burkina
common tools
ntos na masa enye Burkina pe o tomato paste tomato paste ni aya nyam dada no Ghana any the 3rd largest importer of tomato paste from Germany 3rd largest importer of tomato paste now we can on ferry no. Ghana ye bobia saniati na ye krentos ye the 3rd largest importer of tomato paste niti na me ferry
and no cry last Business and Financial Times the story but no say sa paste ya wo kan ye importo as a 1.2 billion na bibi the figure was huge
me ferry niti na me ferry
me na me ntimi nyini
enti ye nya ban pa ban na ka say want to be for agricultural program mbaga na ha ami enduan toast na billions ya different toast eso nti kakra mai na se Burkina Faso mi duan toast ade na ye ntimi duan toast there were more favorable conditions for the cultivation of tomatoes in Burkina mintiase emu kra de would kotia and the masana fe de we cow double na say mati say ye nua e friend saying siao ajekum Japan Jospon also ba be dua mo empa ne boss e ni obeye no enye yema no na enye yema Ghana man because openi wodru ho awon ti ase Ghana has 16 regions no bebiara ni Ghana has 16 regions na wodua emo a enye yi all the 16 regions have favorable conditions for the cultivation of rice nti aden ena de bia ye kramo sa ya kamo samwa kaka ye gusu kramo mintiase yan kwati as planting for food and jobs second phase ba na first phase no ye dey
of amude mame fa kakra bi nka ho so no ya nua honorable kwara minta kando
minipa
se sa papa ni se sanke ye ni abre ho pa se ye pese ye kua o Ghana ha se na nka wo de dollars abanki mpe bi kakra emma kwabena se kwabena je because minsura nka meka se on kwabena minta currently Ghana ha obi enu odua mo chen no
minimum no medi kakra medi ni twice na opening emwa kwabena minta kando member of parliament odua ena se ni okra mo no any imported rice must a difference be any ɛmo no wunia kama wo testia kama enti adan ne nya minta kando mienu miensa mienan mienum no mu nnua mo no bi mai me ntiase me dwi ho a masa me tiase a enye yie
ba ko bi so hande me kan de wan hwe kra obesoro yakọ papa bi wo Swedro come here Richie's plantation oya fish on fish fish ye ema abrofo no be fa free ha ediko fish man pra say usi ne farm ona say wo hwe fish na say e ka kiro say eye Ghana ni e no no nko ade ne sika ye sa fish no aho ebe won unyini
masa pram ha yara pram we a fee company within pram ha abrantie bi a okọ school o Cuba and why ye coastal facilities bi ni ade no mo chinam no mo process de kwabrochire mo de ko Italy ni de keka ho okọ sa factory ha masa edi ne ye ni je chance no ma ye timu a hwe esutini a wo Ghana ha pra and cobra ni me keka ho Volta friends in black and white Volta omanya ye timu a the largest man-made lake in the world na uba south Atlantic Ocean edaho ni ekranam na ye de boni kwa ni aye say ye de empanifo be ni nya no man mu ha ye kranam Atlantic Ocean yi da ha amaya omu ni asutini kra omutumi ye wells ni ade dua de nyan nam hwe ye de na nsemu ye nkoti a ye say binom de pearl trolling ni ade ene kosi sen ene ko ba mi sen enam akwatwe e wo Ghana ha mintiase na ye epo nanka masa aduane de no boofo na petrol boarding aduane boofo na nyoma bi ekeka ho no yetumi nya ka bi akebe fansa na aduane kura ni tuudi ko ka petrol ho na de ko keka ne keka ho aspiti na uti pao masa trabia e wo mu no nya trabia pa hadwin yi pa na say hwe uti empanifo yi bia brofo mo kan nya brofo kitwa na ye nua efrani san kwabna je Japan minim say ya uti no
the new don
no mitie no mitatie no pa na tie no a ensamo keka na mu odu utie na ye keka ya bi no woka ana meboa ye keka ya bi se na be ya ye fa hodie no emu bepi se na be ya aduane bo be ba fom na de no anu oken na ne ha me ni se ye mpani voni na akasa sapen ekosi sen o mo akasa sapen ene kosi sen ti masa mi mama samuwa bia ye wo mu ti bia ye wo mu wan hweye na wan twi break wo kasa na wan twi breaker wan hweye na okọ kasam na okonya mane because masa ehu I mean we main highlighter oswafo a wo hwe o man photo or say economy is responding to treatment Nuponi responding to treatment Nuponi. Or say 2023 GDP growth revised to 1.5%. Hey, atia bafom. Onwanka satia abafom. Headline inflation pegged at 31.3% when originally it was pegged at 28% or so. Masa maminjaka second phase of planting for food and jobs is coming. And also feeling and also as American. First phase na die kosi say. First phase no mu and then two keke. Ya kra 600 million worth of tomatoes every Burkina Faso. Near more than $1 billion worth of tomato paste every Germany. In the first phase, Nekosi said, and second phase,
oh, why are you Jane in Sukan?
Oh, Jane in the young count. Jane wouldn't fuck with you. Jane free Mali, free Burkina, free Niger. Jane, ya Tony Hay, a honey free bar. Now, Jane should be a card. Oh, my flower crying. Miss Shay, a flower crying, fast for Jane in Kwan, a free cigar, copy my flower, Jane in Kwan. And then, Jane. Hey, yo, Master.
I'm not going to match a quava.
You can't find a common sense of beer water.
Hey, Annie.
Nana, Major Super.
Now, what is it?
Yegusumia.
The more quaba.
Campaign bar. That's
I think I'm
Nana.
Oh,
I don't know, President. I said, one file.
Debbie, minute a Baumia.
A 1 hour.
Aye. Oh, did I make control?
Now you don't go free.
Oh, are they? Maybe cram Betchwako.
Me.
Are they?
Hey, Dana.
Betchwako. Never an hour.
Then tell me what's
I never an hour.
Fakwamiti Anamo.
Ever an hour.
I want to meet you.
Ever an outie.
Say, won't you me?
Ever an outie.
Meet Peace FM.
Now, supposed to be Peace FM.
I said, oh, adjunct.
Maybe I make up. Now, so free how quick.
Me come in office.
As I, my kind.
Hey, Nana.
And I'm a kind when for now, and I'm a piece out. Oh,
Me inside office, and I'm a church worker cracker.
I just wear job politics.
Me in casa.
Until politics never now.
That's all no CPP.
CPP. Bisan.
Me na me ofa me ka.
Bisan so wo ho a.
Na da oni ho kwen.
Bisan no enye pe otia.
Na se woni so oni ho an e ka kire e wo we.
Di politics na me ka sama.
Nana, what do you treat? What do you
Na dey try because am wo ba bi na o ye ma show.
Me am machine because that me say wo there. Send me tie wo there bia me say wo there wo party no. Na apese tumpum. Na me say nyanka bia me pese me tie wo no so we obeba bia ni be yaduma. Say na be ya Ghana be tumpum.
David.
Na afi dey as what to nesim pa.
Obia obeba bia no. Ye ne be yaduma. But me woni pa me pese oba.
Oh, okay.
So ati ase.
Okay.
Na say dey oti ase kwesi we ze na oti ase.
Oh, David,
me woni pa me pese oba.
Oh, okay.
But say wan ba obi obeba bia ye be boa.
Okay.
Send the party back.
Okay.
Ti we wie kra me san ko.
O sa ko biom.
Your central region.
To sa ko central region.
Egu super.
And mama
Kwesi ocha your birthday.
David.
Neda ben.
Na birthday na me kana ho iso.
O na birthday so that day.
David. Private affair.
Birthday near private. Oh, are they?
Nana.
I can't person can me ma we.
Pabra, meji.
Na me ni.
Na say na person we me adoya. I say let's all train baby and why adoya.
Me person me you adoya on your birthday.
Me catch ro na nya ho iso.
Hey, na state secret.
There's a state secret. A private secret.
So I don't know. Can me person me na do but also
but also be kan chiro nti danu dura na waye.
Okay. Me can person boa ba.
Se danu duru kra no ni ameme ba beja kofie.
Just all crap.
Ebi dan be sukra no campaign.
O fa o de ja so campaign mu kra metwa na koje. Metwa na koje.
Dem ba. Na be gas your chance can me be ye but was here.
Na go mia. Ene oni mama nya ni sei. Mami ntie onte ho wo budget no ho ansa na ma ba o campaign no because otisi campaign no dia minim se me stop and stop. Etu de.
Nana woni bibia ye ni mu na.
Da nana some of our ko me catch us as sama si wachi. Ebi no no.
Okay.
Afere what you say?
Yo, Mate.
Sama si wachi pa. Nana budget.
Yo me dance. Bitie me nwa panyin kwesi kan sem pi no Kenya me ne ya atwe just nema ba ko mienu bi bisa kwesi cancer pad yenwa no ma pad asemi na se pad no bo ayedin and I said the board din if he said near cry free abrochire eba a tour e waso ti a tour was so there na the board no ye de nimpa na e ton omode a tour no be kan ne board ne ho ti ama ne board na yedin ti yenwanum ma particular mo wo rural areas na kenkan ho no ya no mo sheda intimi ento pad no embo mo ho ban because of ne bo no tina amte ko sikra no di mu akotini na kasa because so senka aban ye intimi enyi ye to no free so card na pad na e free abrochire ba no na nka ne bo no bra from kakra sena ba yenwanum ma no particular mo wo crossing no mutimi atobi sesa na tie dia na esesa kasa no etie na supreme wahu eto a ye de to enema efri abrochire anama no ne ban na ya eya na adwentre titire teachre ni se ye pese ye boa omo a omo yesa adwuma ni bi e wo Ghana so tinfa se pad say no ebi ane o factory miensa bi omo ye pad ni bi wo Ghana ti pese omo adwuma no etumpon na se ma pad no pi fi abrochire eba wanhwa na egu omo ye pad ni bi wo Ghana na egu omo adwuma no na gibia Ghana for ya form adwuma na ebi tax kakra omo twia na ninya atofom enti ye bo omo ho ban ewo ekwan bi so se ni February ba ne de to to so se na bia ne bo na kosoro a che se mo amoye bi o Ghana har mo de no bo no abafom na atimi abo abodam so mo adwuma no apagya o call baby pia we ye strategy ba kwam de bo your friend no local industry me bo mo ho ban but se ko do baby na ye bo mo ho ban na se adekuno omo ye me fan se pad ne ka ho asemi se still ani bo no was ra na che se omo ye bi wo Ghana ha na pese bo mo ho ban na che se omo ntimi empeja adwuma no enkodu baby a pempem so bia ebema ne bo no abafom na ye nwa no mo bi opeso tobi etimi atobi te ba no sa dia na eno na dwinhwe foforo beba ne se na de ye de to ato so se abrochire de ne bo onya de se da bia mo amoye bi o Ghana ha nka mo de no ne bo na bafom na mo etimi aton na mo etimi abie mo adwuma nu ba se ba ne se still ne bo no was through there na we be ka se na eno no to ne de ato abrochire de na se de ba mo ho ba ne ho fa so ne sen enti media nka me pese yen hwehwem ne nti a ne bo no eyede factory bienu miensa omo ye pad yen timi enbem bi so omo ne nti a omo ntimi enye pad no ewo onton no ebuo bi a yenwan nya betimi atobi yen timi nya san hwehwem na san hwehwem no na se timi kire yen kwan a yen fa so se yen san emma eto no enwo ho for pad na February ba anase ye nyim free ho anase kwan foforo bi wo ha betim de aso omo ye pad ni bi wo Ghana ha na ebeboa ye hwe enti saa asem we no esese yetimi ehwem na yetimi hwem a na ebefri maba no na etimi ama yeto anamo a ebetimi aboa omo nso a eto party they can planting for food and jobs. Now, sir, uni mama, I'm just planting for food and jobs. It to me. I'm so almost can't say my a journey be boopa. Name na my journey born I a transport. Labia normal Canadian Labiana about. But to him, Nana, me there. Sa agriculture queer your jume. Yenya ya ebida. So, mekasi ya ebida. sie nya ya wo yan we krase ya tena krase kakra na wo ne wo nana kwa fom be say me free insutem ewo unimo
Linda do chinsitem here
in fact taba na mi son Linda do hunya na me nana fu ani ekodo na efra no esi akwakwan so so akwana na ekwesi akwa enti nana wo call wo free cry o papa oswai nya cause monko krase nkodi mo holiday na o tie krase wona na akwa fom akwa koja no o be so eja abefie so enti ema ultimate ku adwuma na se kakra because every time bia e be ba holiday bia yes why ya top ball na kenkan we se monko tena instead monko di holiday o na a free titi hwe yekua no broni friend no rain fed nsu to ejina nsu to so nti nsu o yenya enim tam nsu to bre edu na eno yakodua aduane no enim tam o pebre edu satan na yetwa aduane na saa na aya na wo hwe se Ghana ha no enipa e wo Ghana ha no be se 50% emufa eyekua adwuma na se wo hu se kua adwuma no problem na encheda nye production o hwe nipa eyekua adwuma no a ukọ ebrochire kakra America no ma nipa eyekua adwuma endu 10%. Yeah, ha no be 50% of the Ghanaian wo hwe census no ma eyekua adwuma ena kua adwuma ye gina insuo toso eno na ekuta ye free titi ye na kanso anu breso abaha na unim ade baako se opeb esi pa na aduane bo eya diana se BBC eja opesi na eja toto afuo mu na kenka ho na aduane e short na ne bo kosoro afina eto aso no aduane production no kosoro pa menim se washa ohwe all the time na aduane bo e kosoro the next planting season there's massive production menka kra me ni fi 1982-83 ata na afini ebe ko university tini aye wie secondary school ni afika kra our peke CSC Jerry Rollins second A obe fi 1984-85 eko a bro well because say shortwa nani bonu kosro a lot of people go into farming tema production kosro I say no timi try and say problem no enshada production problem no post production say kuaninu edua ebro ni menkenya mako ni jene ni troa any bayre ni body so dua wia yen sonasin into dua bro 100 bags abrantie we more full 2 acres we dua 100 bags na say yan so wasen a nhihye bia ne be so wasen a na say 100 bags ni nya o twen kodwa so te ban say mane bo no tofo onsu ba bedua yi na ne bo no eye because na afi ne ba bedua enu ntire bia pa kakra wo be bo na keka ho nya wo betwa o by day na wo hwese wo hwe ne bo no e bia bag ba ko ye 20 cedis wo hwe sa bo no na wo de atwa by day for na afi wo bedua awie no na ne bo na to from 20 cedis to e bia 8 cedis be boka e ba ne sa brantia obe free kua adwuma no abankran ana akumasi na be pejuma for fry enu ntinu baby a esese ye sompa ni post production se ese itimi eso omasin in equiafona in such a way say prices will be stable na industry adwuma bia we ya prices enye stable esika wo di shame sika wo benya untimi enye stable engine ntimi de ɛna sma make me gyina so kɛse ne sɛ time bia aduane be short and ne bɔ no be costro. The next planting season there's a lot of production, but it's say you support to post production in tino ne bɔ no san tofo into share graph a call a stroke number from a costro and straight say be planting for food second phase yen share ohon the policies in share the beba post production so kwiani no etwa jene be Kokrokoo 100 kwan a ye be fa so se na be a won pia ni nya bedwa so na ne bo no ntofo because when pia ni nya bedwa so in 1 month e be say meko we twa meko be 50-100 bags nhihya e betimi aye se na be a meko no ne bo no be stable and ntofo nti ade ba ko titwe se etimi ye ne se factory nkitten be ye processing so nam lole kwan so mu twa aduane wie na tum na mo kan tomatoes ho aso nam o cover tarage some one day na me cover tarage na ye emai omode kenten ebia oba konkuta kenten be se num nsia na o de abesi lole kwan ho jane in toes kenten nsia edu na oba ba kon o mie ne akodo o de abesi kwan ho sa in toes no say yentimi antono within 1 week e be sha say April ntimi nwa say wow drive na do ho hu mobonti no e bia wato kenten mi bi cause unim say mami ogina wie mu kenten bes wa hye kenten du omunyia say wa di na otwe mienu miensa e be sha say ntimi wato ba ko bi wato ba kenten ba ko mienu also bank na wa bia wa be chicha ma neighbors. But that is not a scientific way of developing agriculture. I see a timinya factories a timi processing tomato seeds and a beya maamino say 100 bags no be travel, 200 bags no be travel. Ni bono stable because your factories a bed to a processing tomato seed. O processing tomatoes is into canned tomatoes. And the bit me at shelf no so be 1 year cry. Bit me cry cotton be one man on it. In this year be second phase or ho and yes share, especially agriculture. But we share budget na kasa yera finance minister catcher and say in year in ma ho share ye ko mu free 2020 e ba be ton de nunti na say call IMF so mo be so ya sin enya ni me hu susu aso na finance minister enra ode no ye no be my report say she share bind ya to dwa any IMF nkuta hu die no hu susu aso te sen no can say she say no ya turning the corner che say ahu kire no eso etwa emase say no ye fro popo no nipa ni pi ene ni enyanjwe otie na industry for oma ashada wo factories omo ye djuma ma fagana for Ghana ha otie no omo kan otie traders otie nipa pi omo say ye nshada who say you're turning the corner. But yenya ebeja tum say improvement kakra aba. Nti media so be on turning the corner no jintuma and so be people chance anu hu. But yenya ebeja tum say improvement kakra aba. O share inflation. Obi because na inflation na 42 43 na so turn the corner. Na no corner be no turn. But obeja tum say inflation na 50 52 53. Inti say na about 42 43 na che say improvement kakra abem and obi abeje atum enye nim say fan obo say na number 23 cities ni merka ka etwa mi and na enye nim say swat number 12 cities so je share kakra ye dia to from ni fan obo particular city na ho de inti na fan go na swat eye ebian ye ntene corner no but it's an improvement na fang obo nso no affect and MP just no crack on inflation no so at free 15 no about 40 small we share cedi no so na ho den and as a dollar ni boa then number 15 16 ho and then number 12 guess what ebia na so tm ba pempem so bia ebe boa industry but you beja tum say dollar no bonate from 15 16 and then number 12 and na best and now what me no we try me the as a gina faako it's an improvement and then there a chini bia enu enti si etimi hwe mu be bosumi nsia ko ekwakoto December na se improvement no ekoso si dina ho de no gina se na egina se na petrol yi fango boy su gina kakra maya na say so tikra maye now hwe inflation so eno so etia babe ne number 42 43 babe 30 na so tia na che say ekoye ni enti ebia turning the corner no because on jintum because inflation num 40 and way interest rate num ha but there's an improvement because interest rate kwa here treasury bill and also eba from kakra ndu pepem so a enya ye ni bagini aka say oh they say the interest rate and our treasury bill stand aban isi hu aban etwa so aban kasa ekot pesca wo dwemu a se sansi hu no ba from a ena ebema banks no etimi di sika fem business na sa aban na mu isi hu aban ni twa no I find treasury bill say was ro bank bia ni ho this kabema peace fm say mo kwa koye branch fofora na mo pese mo sisa mo microphones obi ama muska because aban si hu na aban si hu etwa eso na aban so de aban ontimi ntofo onta but aban si hu na friend treasury be na tofo mo eba fo mo a eno no peace fm mo pe bibia bank no behwe no wetimi de ama but e bia na ndu san brand na treasury be but at least eba fo improvement kakra ena nyame ncha de sa ohawe a ekọ mu ye free 2020 covid ni enso yenka ya boato ho ni nya ba be boma ye wa hu kire mu nyame ncha de ye hu petrol cubes ye hu amanone ye Nigeria he ya ni abrochire Italy num na ye hu cubes ana abaho na nipa no kobo dumping yes amo yande
omoto santini na ye ba beto petrol ye hu bi nyame ncha de bi enhyeda nsi wo Ghana ha ya antise ya pam adwuma ban apam adwuma fo bia na se twetwa no bia salary mu bia ye me companies bia me adwuma na edu e na board no kra sinka yen cut staff no bi so yes yo ye me ani kakra yen cut salary bia yan lay obi off o hwe aban adwuma en so ade anyame e de a che yan hyedan hu dum so kese bia se ahokyere abenti no yentimi ntofango fem power companies ma dum so yan hu bibia sa enti nya nyankopon enchade na say matese school feeding for as a trim asana a finance minister chair but a PC do pempem so contractors especially road contractors my ya banjuma say timi shase see twomoka ma yenye hu see twomoka enna enu say ba na ye hu say we there a tiny corner no ya just school feeding for and since matise contract another set of contractors be pension pension bondholders say am come dumping me and say matise no so buy twom kama so makoma tom yem kakra enti improvement there kakra eba say see a tiny corner che say afi there ye end the minim go bia ni bebia odon so the baby ogina don odon so hunu ye hu say ye school ni say yan shada and disrupt school years no it mean ya ni they are modern she mama school no ye mano to a school no so ma wo hwe other countries a be 1 year kra no nkola ne tifie ye no so ya de e peda nyame ase
a canon so I deno say a buying a canon say a friend of domestic and external domestic in a buying a day or Ghana for our Ghana and no near this share debt exchange in your own so but they say you call anymore but I can't external one here car a day in the power man on it. I'm if I back on Paris Club and then Europe for near Britain, France, Germany, Switzerland, America, Sankrofui, and half China. They say Paris Club near Europe for near China na abeboom. Momunya and your mutin kuta on Senabea. A bit Timmy Ashisha Kano or Quine Biswa, a Bema Yanwa high. So mutimi we noa. A Bema Sikepia Nessa de Kutrian see whom. Yebetimi access can edi ayem puntum juma ewo memuha eno so beboa nti yem bompaye say na mo na ye two in the last bosome be say 3-4 months I started say fifi na yem bompaye say yakobon betonsu papa guso na fifi enyi akodum pempem so a inya ebe hu faso no a chini bia emba inflation and 50 to 40 percent by December grana by 30 ebe boa that is a sustained reduction fangu boy bompa yes samba from 23 and then number 12 13 other say bechina one ebe ba from amaye sidi na ho odin a na nam a dollar no be 16 cedis 15 cedis and then number 12 a bomb I said bijina one and so be bafo dum so bia en shada mba na aketwan so kakraba be ka ho kakra ya emi ani ya hwe nti me there me twa no pono it's a bit too early say be can say yeah pass judgment but at least say they say all my reports and financial my reports now. In Yabajatum said there's been an improvement in many of the data na there's been an improvement. Now there has to be agency because you're sitting saying I know my and Niema the same way ayano if we did it say baby I do say no there has to be a lot of agency it is a planting for food and jobs is you see about twice say no first no one na unsu so na boy ye we have to move we need no paradigm shift you move from say you did be holding your share production or holding your share production na nipa ni produce na support in for post production and the born to for more. Next time nipa na onye ku adwuma bi. Afei ye ni se na be afan go born betin afa because fan go born so e affect aduane bo. Because aduane no e dua won krasin na say e move aduane no back Kumasi, e move back Tamale, e move back Kran, e move back Takrade. It is a transport born was through because fan go born e was through and so be affect aduane ni bo. Enye oil gold for oil so san boa yen shemukina na entintim na prices no should continue to be stable na yen things differently and more radical senebeya ahuchire aye womi yetimi efrimu entem.
Men so medase na akomia. I think Mohammed, watch Aquaba.
No, me do so.
Now, can so I could trim about you. Now I shall offer Unia, offer question me.
Makakui.
Yeah, trim me about you.
Makakui.
Okogambagaba.
Mikogambagaba. Nedika, Mamincha, Namincha, me offer for you. Any the Republic of Gamaga for you now, Michuvia and Yanope. And now I fetch me so MZ communication. There was a slight and a piano, Minyan, he says, semi bahanti with the fetching. ena eja yen so de onim bibia yete aha nti otisi mu a ejeni nana we chire yembodi we chire dodo aha
yeti ase
yeti ase
I don't see a secret first secret that also
anyway now me say you ka ne owura kenoforiata edikotu dwa no media many ni say he did not submit a supplementary budget. He came to give us the state of the economy until or the one say anytime I present the budget, usually the presentation is done in November. At which time I would need the benefit of all the data now. We hear because the fiscal year is not ended until usually they report all the way to September. The mid-year review allows you the chance to tell us the AC how the various indicators perform here by the end of the fiscal year. All the way to January, actually said 2022. A lot of the parameters are determine the health of an economy. No, baby nan shadam pay na going forward. So it appears we still are not out of the woods yet. Nti na mengonga kesi say he said say they are brofo by no kind said they are turning the corner and they've turned the corner. Minim corner crowd mu turn here esan say da so me my dream no yenyan ko bibia sa yo. The recovery is very sluggish and I'm being charitable. It's extremely sluggish. And I will see if your recovery is very sluggish now say we are turning the corner there. I don't know who you are tickling and who you expect to laugh. Now, Mamisha say, I'm just going to highlight a few of the indicators,
Okay.
Now, yendi home common. But let me say, me banomitiye Uncle Christine Nana Kumia eka about planting for food and jobs. Now, Endra Mika Wasem or another platform to say, Mwa kakra say, says yeah, you see, Yahwachrian, and which is the reality. And in the we are beginning to rationalize expenditures. Sika say we are being careful because we are pursuing a fiscal consolidation program. And the expenditures ni bi wo hwa ese titi so sabi ebia enshada emboano na ye twintwan so. Na I always say policy wo is a cycle. You start with idea opesa wo ye no, what are the demands of the population? Dey na hia omo. Those are the things that form the objective of an rationale for bringing any policy. Now, aggregate or more demands, their concerns, you aggregate them, then the political class and our political elite will decide, okay, yet the inshese ba ebet me abwa ama ya so and I solve our problems population can no. So that is what usually gives birth to a policy. Now you implement, then you monitor the outcome of implementation. Now through a feedback process, knowing who say then it informs how you proceed going forward and how you proceed. Now planting for food, when him say phase 1 for almost 6-7 years in here. We are still having, and the essence of planting for food and jobs was to ensure food security.
To
the visual or Agric Ministry also. Now the idea is we wanted to be food secure and self-sufficient in the production of Ediani. And once you have food security now, the prices of Ediani ever form. But when you say inflation now, the biggest driver of our inflation is food inflation. Eduani bua ekosoro enema ye inflation no ekosoro kese no. That tells you say Eduani sikana the investment we made in planting for food and jobs and yielded the kinds of dividends now you expecting which means that as far as that policy goes and I don't want to say it failed, but it didn't accrue the needed benefits nti anka say aban edwin ho biem because if phase 1 has failed and has not met the targets now almost 30 years anka ben bedwin ho biem before coming up with phase 2 ya omsi on person muye, because phase 2 no any cost in anam. Every policy comes with a cost. Until the next phase I see here be, we are going to sink a lot of money like we did in the first phase, you know. Now so there are no tangible outcomes to show for the first investment now, you know. Nasebi anka nanaya we CEO of a company. Why invest in BB dividends in ba? You say so even though dividends in buy and in it will be right to say uboka because we invest now in your returns are kind of boy, you know. But they move it to next phase, which sebi rational investor would want to do that. But the end year, Abansi they would still proceed to invest in the second phase. And Omufi said this is part of the turning. I mean, it is part of turning the corner in Omukano
economy around, you know.
Oh, because you do things that yield the kinds of returns are ebwa. Phase 1 and why do a phase 2? We should have nanke say aban etna se edwin nyuma pe ne ya ambua. What are the things we can do to make this better? ABR, it was not about policy, no, but ABR there are other things we needed to focus on. Tianko focusing on, you know, and our policy nankasa no, the way ye couchy policy no, enyadia ebwa. And maybe we should be looking at something else instead of a policy on planting for food and jobs. Na Adi Emam who says Adi was a failure and say when there was shortage of food, I mean when there was an increase in the price of food, Ghana for air can no. The Minister of Agriculture said say na eduane that techiman ye the canopies krana kataso. Na ye akra for na complain. Egu techiman. Na ye Ghana for na enkosse eduane mba ankran. Until and for a complaint, and as a response, they decided to be importing your kinds of body.
And by
say the Minister of Agri, wow, boy, no body and corner koto. It tells you that says our policy, no, it failed. And we should have thought about it and not, you know, decided to invest in another phase.
But planting for food and job, not body and by and a
I said one thing, you kind. Planting for
planting for food and jobs.
Nina say food and jobs. Food dear Adam boy body and yeduani. Banchi and yeduani. Nina can be. A bro, bancho, baby, na nina can be. What you must say? At the end of the day, it failed. Common body. At some point, crana ye crabby free Cote d'Ivoire. Ebaha. Body and canino na ye dwebi wo ye mfichiri. Ye nan krofa kucha. Since it got to a point and there was a shortage. What must I say? But let me come to the other indicators that somewhat belie the contention. Say we are out of the woods and that we are on the path to full recovery. Nedi kind. You see inflation. Eswati at the end of the fiscal year 2022, now inflation was around 54%. Since you see. By June there na Eswati about 42.5%. Now Unim said this is the same figure we recorded by the end of September 2022 before I presented budget. No, this was the inflation figure I presented budget. No, now say after 6 months we are back to the same figure now. Say by even though a bit home in the last quarter, no, and usually it is to be expected. December the year new because of higher demand. If you are using nearby count like what happened getting to the end of the year, no, as a base you say Eswati about 42%. We are back to the very rate now. I mean, the present budget, and in my view, Jin this we have made any significant improvement per se. Now, Usha our gross international reserves, Eswati. By the end of the year 2022, no, was 2.7 months of import cover. By the end of June 2023, Eswati about 2.5 months of import cover. And also, as far as gross international reserves go, no, and ya boy and humodin biblisa, and we share your currency depreciation. And usually, it's important to do comparative analysis. We share how we fared in the year before and in the way we are faring now. Between January and June of 2022, dollar no SOT by 16.9%. But between January and June of 2023, the currency, which is Ghana CDC, has depreciated to the tune of 22% against the US dollar. It has depreciated to the tune of, to the rate of 26.3% against the pound. And if you compare to how it fared in the year before, between January and June of 2022, now 7.7%. But you see, our pound, our currency, Eswati against the pound by 26.3% as against 7.7% in the preceding year. Now, when you know you see we are turning the corner, so corner in 10 year, and when it comes to euro, and also it's the thing is similar, 23.8 as against 9.9 in the previous year. And to which we have done so much. And if you look at debt developments, public debt stands at 71% to GDP. And this ratio is still, and this is even subsequent to a revision of the GDP series. And the Statistical Service revise GDP in April. And would enukra na yedi kan ho asem anka if we're using the old series now, me sure say anka ebebro. But even with the revised series, you would realize that it stands at 71%. That is still high. And we are still within the province of unsustainability, And it's also where chakwana na uchakwa. Now when you there is a problem that the finance minister is occasioning to the monetary policy authorities, Mipache Central Bank. There is so much fiscal dominance. Unim say Kana for the first time me Mati say Bank of Ghana Koboka. There are losses they are recording. Ninyina is as a result of fiscal dominance. Say overdraft. Kanino yedin makra bi bae. Yedin shishebi ebae. Shishebi bae say we need to reduce the way central bank lending to the finance ministry. And the reason was to ensure say inflation issue and some of the other effects are borrowing from the central bank air cost, But let me say we've gone back to that. And the Fiscal Responsibility Act, because of COVID, we suspended it. I would have thought, say, COVID core, say, 3 years in Why are we not restoring the Fiscal Responsibility Act? Because in the best show, say, deficit there, you can go beyond 5% of GDP. Ube Bobisian from central bank, it shouldn't exceed a certain limit. But in the absence of act, because they are suspended, and there's no obedient that we are going to restore our Fiscal Responsibility Act, And the idea was to force the fiscal policy authorities, to keep to Nyoma Ebema. That would prevent overheating of the economy. But they say I are suspended, and still I Nyoma na Ediam call IMF. We are still doing the same things. Marty said there are plans to still borrow in 2023. Meanwhile, borrowing ya na Ediam Kodu Sapempensi. And if you look at the ratio, make 71%, is still within the unsustainability limit, if you ask me. Yakoka Ibimuzio. Japan there is around 100 and US is 200%, but US survives on debt, and the reason they are able to do that is because they hold that their friend reserve currency, and all they need is to print. But Ghana, if you dare print currency, a dear friend galloping inflation now being, and you can't want to found and to US, they survive on debt because they have an advantage. The fact said they control the world reserve currency. You don't control it. And it's who can would that anymore. You can't you na Japan's way. Japan sebi. What they export, and ya no be na export. Their earnings from exports, and ya no be na yenya. What must say? And to me, if anybody says we are out of the woods and we are turning a corner, meaning in Yadri, I think that there's still a lot more to be done. Now there are also arguments in the midst of all these, buying idea, and I listened to the Deputy Minister yesterday. Transfers to LEAP recipients has increased from 45 to 90 Ghana cedis. Household seek an AKU. Now, let's just work with these figures. What the Deputy Minister failed to recognize is there's a difference between nominal value of transfers and real value of transfers. If you account for inflation, some 90 cedis now would be more mono. in real terms no will form cry chain 45 cities now na the mom no because now inflation is around let's work with the latest figure. Inflation is around 42%. Funny say when inflation was 18%, now you're more 45 cities. Bianca obeti wako to tea, now to milk, now to brodo. Says he had 90 cities with inflation of 40 with inflation of 42% and 42.5% to be exact. Uko to sa ni one year brodo ni tea pen abeto. Milk ni dia emba. So the real value of the transfer no eswati. Nti enya adiwe enya ade say the boy hu samrani. So we've increased the transfers from this value. It is not the nominal values that are of interest. It's the real values that SA. Nti Ghana is still up the creek. We are still in trouble. Yenyem drusa pempensuo na yebitima ka say we are turning the corner as the finance minister wants us to believe. There is still so much to be done. Nti na me me yakesi pa say. And I'm saying this because Ushe and I just wish Nanaya wouldn't say it's unrelated. But near my Mrs. I just spoke to you about how our currency is depreciating. And the reason why our currency is depreciating against the major currencies is a supply side problem. There is constraint on supply of forex. Now, obitimi hodisi kazi, them, and found let's even ignore the source. Let's even grant crasa and brabi ne wujas kanmano and our donations amount for bit because it's here the elite funerals they are contributing dollars. Yamfanisa. That's a we be a uka buying and government is struggling to deal with the exchange rate problem because ya can be a air cost no cry exchange rate differentials no crack home. What you say? Na se mfa no say exchange rate, everybody in government agrees say it's a problem and government is doing whatever it can to deal with it. Now the papa could decide questioning them. I would have thought said the president would have expressed some great deal of disappointment. But he says his confidence that the integrity of the woman will be established. Meanwhile, she's part of the problem you are struggling to fix. Holding this amount, do you know how much is Sasike Enka, if it were in the banking system, it would have created as far as forex management goes. But my pensio, there be need the integrity of the woman will be established. Forgetting Uko Bank says here, Ukoyi Sika in dollars. There is a threshold, we can't go beyond it. What must I say? It tells you that there is still a shortage. Now, so be was Sasika Bibri one dema. Mampenyin out the list I expected was for him. So if you can't even publicly show anger, but at least let us know, say, but the president said, oh, he's confident the woman and her integrity will soon be established. And to me, my concluding comments on this is we are still in trouble. There is so much more to be done. And Kaihuni said, IMF aye ko eno kra ne bua yen. Imagine if we hadn't gone to the IMF. And Ghana will become the next Sri Lanka. IMF mpo. And there are some constraints on Nyoma Yebitimiaye because the memorandum of policies are Ediko IMF no essay disu. For example, now there is zero financing by central bank to the Ministry of Finance. And it is one of the conditions are Ediko and as Omu disu because when this was 600 na bebano emba. Until imagine when you na in New Anka bebe dread Anka Nyadia Yadipa. Until there is so much more to be done. And I expect further more expenditure rationalizations and sebi some more nuanced revenue collection methods and our ideas. Says here, ports. Your ports, says here, people are not importing. And the Hamika is not just the importation of refined goods, importation of intermediate goods. Nyoma yedi buadi production. No, amount for air titiso. And if you don't import intermediate goods, where then your production? Now economy no atumpon. Says here the port is technically, dry. Ninyina ejina the kinds of tax arrangements are yedi to Abai say in as much as you need to rationalize your expenditures, you need to also be a bit innovative about the way yeji yetu no. Minka say menji to but be innovative about it so that at the end of the day the receipts will be higher and the volumes of the receipts will be higher. Na ne yewo sisi idea. Emma Abankra and the revenue or target is from the post. Until there is still so much to be done. Now, phase 2 of planting for food and jobs is one of, if you ask me, unacceptable expenditures.
I think Mama
NC is one of the, if you ask me, unacceptable expenditures are buying we pese a year because why phase 1 ye hu no usa be phase 2 ni nyina so ye sikasem sika isu ye nibi nti ye say aban adwin hu biem. We should not just be excited about slogans. Oh, we are doing planting for food and jobs phase 2 and ye no na eboa things that create ease and a relief and they say yeah but nyoma edi or how ana eka ebrain no e say adwin hu biem. It doesn't matter how nice the slogan sound. Me that's in now
Mate, mention so medals, Papa, Atik Mohammed, and I telling can before studio had no pay. Man Pratt, ewa ha say, Nana Kumia, ewa ha, and Atik Mohammed, or Kasewi is here, and Penifumi and Son, and no pay, and Homo AD and come up. Nana Kumia, round 2, me person me know if we are. Yes, what faculty. Okay. Now, what faculty, I go be head ahead of me, no ha no pay more. Akoi omo de adwin kire no ba no wose me no mi no ayete aye ka se aban enye na ye soroko fum kokodo angeji ye mi ri soroko fum kokodo enka bia no
ase wa chena enye bonu adwin che de obi atwi chira ni bi nti ye be fam sa
ase ode
mina me be solve Ghana agricultural problem me nko am ko fomu a ka problem na be solve dia Kenya din ka me sorry akosisi a onu so che na din masa mpacho kakra mpese me kan ho ni se adinti a yekua yo no enko nanim ani eye we cry from say multinational corporations na omudi nhihye bi aba sisi ano seats, they control seats. That's a major setback for agriculture in the third world. Yaya mofrano kweni corners we could do banchia no kasa banchina we do banchin dua na bi no ahwetwa no odi ahye fom no dua se edua na obedua onu kasa ye ni seat ni ade and the hybrid seat na ba udua unya seat ni bi mfrimu no akodua nti every planting season bia na se kweni no okoto seats. It's a major problem for agriculture in the third world. Na nunu ana minti say ya buying afa kwan bi so a be ma yetuna control yankasa ye seats. Na yenye dependent on multinational corporations for the supply of seats. Na masa ma dream say minti ase
as a improved seed.
Improve seed media they be a who could do this okoto.
This okoto.
And only improvement we know.
And on the yield and the kasi chain back on the other.
But then eventually your agriculture becomes dependent on multinational corporations. Omiawa wo onem chen. Inti mintiase. Ma dream ho be see the mintiase. Minia na kumia so kan ba ku bia eno so mintiase say yempanifo no hu. Na kumia say oban pa enti ko okay keso mutie ni asupem
no
post harvest losses masa figures ni bi wo hu a na wo yam cereals some time ago me ko hu post harvest losses figures no we were losing more than 40% of what is produced to weevils and other infestations. Imagine say 40% of what we produce now is lost through post-harvest losses. Lost. And planting for food and jobs near them. How does it tackle post-harvest losses? Minister Atomic Energy Commission, one more the FDB buyer, no which we preventing post-harvest losses near the ecosystem. Master, ecosystem. And necessarily, no. Amribia na ne dua ni so bi wa ne dua no edoso nanso yese no kwa ese kwa onim chem enti post-harvest losses no so ya de bia ya dwin hu yi a kebeboai masa etoso nsa enye kua ni bia no bitimi akoto tractor ne plow ni keka ho no oni sika ontumi nto okọ bank ya bank mbo no bosia mani bank ye ɛno ne nti ɛna mpanimfoɔ no bi hu nyansa ɛfa adwene sɛ yɛnyɛ pools ɔhunam kyɛ no sɛ Tamale and outlying areas na ɛbɛyɛ agriculture yɛnkɔpɛ tractor yɛnkɔpɛ plows yɛnkɔpɛ nnoma ne yɛfa ngu central location a ɛbɛ accessible to every farmer in the area ɛno no so masa ɛkɔsi sɛ nti nnoma no bi hɔ a masa wodwiri ho a wonte ase yɛaka over 50 years obi anyɛ ho hwee ɛm sɛ Nana Kumia na wɔka sɛ Ghana nipa dodoɔ na ɛyɛ kua ɛyɛ ade papa because what we produce now can be produced by less than 10% of the population. Naka other persons involved in agriculture no, can be deployed on other things. And so, and then we some and then Yankotia, and Ukraine, Russia won't enough fertilizer. Hey, Ghana. Acham Pombrosumika 1975. And I buy who say a friend say organic fertilizer no was the way to go. And Obudi can first Omukoye Teshinungwa compost plant 1975. Besin yet here train fertilizer if Ukraine and Russia as an Equador. Na Russia ni Ukraine no fertilizer no nye omo oil and gas industry no na omo depending on the production of fertilizer na ye dey masa esan bi wotia as a su wotia sani empenifo no adwen fa it is second phase of planting for food and jobs no what is it coming to do it's substantially different from a first phase 7 years now. A total failure, complete failure. Masa,
good morning, Anaya Okese. Please tell Atik that it is not true that we were importing plantain after the planting for food and job was initiated. The problem has been with distribution, not production. And the problem with distribution was due to the cost.
You see, sometimes
I think the problem has been with distribution, not production, and the problem with distribution was due to the cost of transportation, which in turn was due to the increase in fuel prices. That is why foodstuffs were available and cheaper elsewhere than in Accra. Mind you, Accra is not Ghana. There's no question at all that every year Koto should have done much better in Agric as the Agric minister. But there are lessons that have been learnt which will be fed back into phase 2. So I think must not assume that phase 2 will be exactly like phase 1. At the very least, there's a new minister with fresh ideas. Yeah, anyway, if we spend text and by saying honestly, no,
the minister is just an implementer.
And it is to do her with the upper to car, Nafa Western region.
From Cote d'Ivoire, yeah, crab planting.
What if he Cote d'Ivoire, and it is to do her? Massa, one of the guys said the problem was transportation. Okay. At the end, we cheap. It will cost a bank cry.
Some arrangements.
It was say.
Arrangements with truck drivers and as if I could see them. And you see, people should not assume say Sebi Accra Nkwana yet you. Mimi Frigambago.
Good morning, Anaya Okese. I am George Asamoah Mankwa, the national best farmer for 2014. The bottleneck of average Ghanaian is the challenges that used to happen at post-harvest losses. And we can only bring it down by building storage facilities. For example, cold facilities to manage tomatoes, mangoes, avocado, plantain, cassava, and many more. How about that?
Nana, Unim say, in the wisdom of Nkrumah and revived by Oratamus, we created, now in the days of Nkrumah, silos, but Buffer Stock Company came to do a similar thing. Bizamize, what is the idea of a buffer company and a buffer stock company? Say, when you overproduce, that price is no former. and any from Krana you overproducer, but obviously the price will go down. Now matter differences no. When there is a shortage, not buffer stock no mum, I release it. What is it? So at every point in time, prices of food ebe form. Says here, what do we see? Buffer stock company has become an extension of food soldier arrangements. No.
I think my main comment maybe
buffer stock company. I did a buffer stock company. Me teacher na me yam shishimi na yam se minsu. Now saying that making kind one more document about bounty. Ministry of Education. See how no akwaji adwuma no
because obviously they supply to secondary schools.
And then one more contractors are almost told the animal secondary schools. When it is buffer stock company who should have been doing that. Buffer stock company the equiafo no ka suppliers ne ka omuntu mintia. Sikaba na Ministry of Education they be two special people. Now more supply 2-3 years ago no much next.
But I think the buffer stock company and Kasano there were issues. In fact, the entire arrangement is a problem. And you see, the idea is not just to they've reduced it to Yantu Animal Secondary School Nkwala. But the buffer stock company, the idea was to buy excesses and store until no musisi warehouses all over the country, no. So that if there is a shortage, excesses now mudi can toy, you release it into the system. Now man for so the prices of food at every point in time, no, but what we see is that it became, and I suspect it still is. Say we are food soldier now complaining say we need juma. Now amount we could supply 10 bags of garima school way at the end of that is not why the buffer stock company was set up.
I think Empebreni and this buffer no commander and
we need to revise what it does.
Menkai policy crop but near see ye be see storage facilities nibi. I think under say under 1D 1F nibi said.
Omu ye warehousing no, and warehouses. Yeah.
Omu ye eguso.
Almost all my but then because
I think I see a pet time now this uncommon near
those running buffer stock no they have not done Ghana in a good service.
The last one na femenko e nana kumiasuna into upon pay. The post harvest losses are catered for by the 1D 1F policy. How? Nana Fridi and Pacho Chichimni. Maybe if Mr. Pratt set up or encourage others to take advantage of the policy, it will be better.
Which policy?
Nana Freddy of Oriat and Pacho Mame further and better
structural transformation.
Agriculture. Agriculture. Journalists in agriculture. Train drivers in is that the solution?
Yeah, there are different structural transformation, and it's you shift from when you take the real sector, you have manufacturing, you have agric, and you have services. Your cut transformation, it is when you move your working population from one sector into the other. And in this sense, you move from agric. I didn't say it's like it's ham shaped. You move first from agric, it comes to manufacturing, then it goes to services. Yeah, in the end of the year, services and manufacturing. We've been doing this for God. Agric has been a mainstay since.
What does Atik Mohammed means by buffer stock company has become a food soldier arrangement? As leader of the Alliance of Food Soldiers Advocacy, I take strong exception to Atik's.
So Obama no. What do you have, bro? Yeah, I'm Fabian, bro. Oh no, nyebi. That's what happens.
No problem. Nana Kumia.
Nana.
What are say to kwai round 2. O campaign mu ensem na afi enhwe de ebesie.
Yo me that's it. Oh your campaign there. Ekoye pa. But obi anso beka se the campaign ekoye.
Obi anso beka se ni die hwam.
20 fa bosumi ayesi mu August. Aka na otwe be se me sanifa.
Adi na yesan 26th ana?
26th.
Okay.
The baby na otwe be sanifa na. Ekoye first round no.
I like the word first round.
No nipa 900 ne kwa ko vote. Okay. They no so be chere bibi. Obi be kan si bibi be si. Na e free ho a na e ko second one and also November. And chebia and also beba. But yeah campaign e koye. I'm sure so be answer dey koye. Ye call Ashanti region na otwe twa mi. Ho na me e share me pa. Was any pen for your mujine, best and soon air santifo. Intina men shada and susu say in Ashanti nuka a delegation be budget, but me also send out on my budget. e call ya na omo budget ne so nche say na meti hobby me hu dwere bi enti mo gidi pa say bibi besi na delegates no the way omaji opinion na tumu no se sa na ebeba no dia and election do wafa no koko
Hey,
yeah
Samum.
Nti ebehwe
One was he?
chise be obi before bisami
There be okay.
As far as I know goes, you
chise obi before bisami e bia bu pese me na before we but fano campaign ni se party no dey share
But before Obakono, you know say aspirant mo keka nsem no bia na say we kwabena je Japan aka bi na we so aka bi na we aka sa comment na mo ho ne ade no menim say what titi bi eno so hospital say
oh podia na mesre aspirants so munya pay for party so and munya mo ye campaign and ka dey hwe campaign so na your campaign na obetimi ayama of mine no and the party no this wade hu o track record ejuma wa ye no me say timi but they be cry na onyonkwa can be na of also dey any campaign na bia unjintuma e kwa bit me aka no wait me a say na menu e kan menu atiki bia na sema kan menjintum benso mi se na mi hunu any say but men ko kan bibi say o atiki do na no kan no and pro and I onja no kan no e ban sa nyefe
Kwabena Japan replies Baumia. According to Kwabena Japan, Dr. Baumia in his claim has deliberately avoided some baseline facts just to suit his narrative. Does he know the genesis of the case in court in 2012? Those of us who were at the Electoral Commission at the time, do you know what happened? And blah blah blah. Meaning say what be? Can you know na?
but I know na about me I can say minua Japan so no nim case ni hu bi ba anambwa or see strong room and na name be a cause about me any into opisa the question that ain't na one fa ni nyama betudwa am a petition because petition no na enye adwuma ketwa na yes party no eko boa pink sheet nya no within a 3-week period so abekaya ya to election we December 7 so to me file petition by December 31st to say until within na what me and so to me boa pink sheet nya na ya dance day to me boa now ye analysis na mo pe lawyers na mo court well inti so bit is a na Japan na so ono so nim bibi we see was strong room na ho I no afa ni nyamba no mafa e mkra o de beka case no kan ke benka case no e be kwa ma MPP enti eno no de mi hu ba bia eno so fi na se kwam ti se me nwa Mahama so kan say President Mahama say because ba mi aka say ono ni Mahama si akanda na omo dinkunim 2016 2020 Ira Mahama so ni ba mi ansi akanda on ba mi amba ballot paper no so that ti ohun na ba mi aka nanso nya enwa Mahama onim se ba mi ba ballot paper no so then so de bia o ka in fact that no can say na the next sentence no se akufa do ba mi nti ba no se na C2 a we dey free ba no be C2 na do na ka nti eno so nya de ai ha no but na me kan ne se mpanyifo nya munya mo fata that ba ko pe na ese ade ne ko nti se wa kan bibi po na e bia obi aka bibi se Canada Japan se boachi ajakun sal na ne nya dwen anaba omi a ben ko dinner tema na ko ka bibi I am fata because mu wia na se Alan Chermantini e be you know ba omi an e be you know Canada Japan e be you know nya kwa kota na chi na sɛ ɔkɔ ka nneɛma ɛmfata mfa ne ho a wobɛyɛ dɛ na ɔtumi akɔtaa n'akyi because wokɔtaa n'akyi a woankasa nsɛm a wakan a ɛmfata mfa ne ho yɛbɛyɛ fɛ wo nti na mɛpɛ ɔmakyɛw wɔyɛ internal contest. Even the external contest where you are in DC for, you also make sure that the campaign is decent and the campaign is fair. How much more internal contest? Amunya more party back. Enti, ya kwa enemy. Emreno iswa. Yamba modena campaign ehonte. Mrs. Kwabna Japan can be bina menene nyadria. Ebia minya na kwabna can ebia misu say na mi hunu. Uncle can be mfata to say that Kwabna Japan onim no kan. Nti me bompa so munya amude o madwen beba. Na party no say party no frail. No mutimi ya inter president IPAC.
Party advisory committee.
So we are your party. Presidential
presidential aspirants committee.
Me party na chew pa no mutimi enya IPAC bi inter-presidential aspirants committee. So na be ya be kan munya bo munya be from every 2 weeks be I be kan munya be from na o medium ho nkomo. Eno so be boa. Because you ria e se nya kan bo.
Mate, na come here me say. Adik.
No.
Brief one. 2 minutes.
Oh yes, that's fine. We DM say I can't answer, man, but I've just seen as one of the issues the downward revision of targets no can for at the buy when you naturally say the 10 corner now kind no we who say corner no intend otherwise why would you revise downward your targets if indeed by half of the year no you are almost like who any man no sanka be trying you would maintain your targets and see how you fare for the rest of the year, but these are realistic downward revisions. That should tell you say still yenyem kona no yenyendru ho na atani. But presidential prime minister say aka ho asema and I've always said say look atani the mbu bia would the opponent attempt na or we need how do you help the person campaign unless of course why you say we no cry nya de obebo no, but I doubt say that's the mindset of all the aspirants. Mijidi say whoever emerges no ombetimi akaka omo ho abom and help whoever emerges to face the main campaign no. Now as for jabs they are allowed, but when those jabs degenerate into insults hard because immediately you are handing weapons to your opponents. Nti omunhwe enuna omunye omunhwe no so na omuntete the tendency and the insults no so if at all there are any. Now the other issue soon say it is always going to be a problem whenever there is a perception about the existence of an establishment candidate. And the UPU ABC. In 2007, I am sure a lot of the candidates were not happy with the candidature of Ora Alan Chamantin because of some perceived claim they say he was the establishment candidate. The same way, me sure say a lot of the candidates will not be excited about Dr. Bawumia because of that perception. No? But when these are things that you can manage. My advice to Ora Bawumia and Crawford is they should not keep doing things and they should not do things that would lend more credence to that perception, say indeed or establishment candidate. And then Crawford almost perceive say Oyebiano. Look. At the end of the day, it is the message you take to the people. Any here, Obi Betima establishment candidate, like we saw in 2007. So perception, no. If indeed establishment candidates win elections, and I'm sure 2008 the MPP's candidate would have been Obi Fufro, na Nado. Until it is all about the message you take to the people, how you go about it, and at the end of the day, like I always say, they should not make the cost of reconciliation higher for them going into 2024. Otherwise, they will spend all their campaign time trying to do reconciliation.
Mate, Medasi Azik Mohammed. Over.
Oh, Masa mu wakra. Edikan. Nya yenu Kwabna eje Japan kano. Bebre meet me do what that say. It was for 3 continuous elections, meaning there was a strong rule. And he played a key role in the MPP's efforts to ensure say the results were clean and fair and so on. Mikai 2000, na menin the war a strong group. Na nearby ya omampani kufo din kunim ni ade ni na ne dudu onara bebre ne gina ono ne ni team so. Nti okasa enye ntro no otwa oka no krepa.
Oka say ya.
Oh, say no so di akutin or to ensure say the results were properly collated and so on. Because I'm collating results, Papa better than Wako Court. And all those things, he was very deeply involved. I was in the strong room with him, and I can attest to the fact that he played a very key role in that effort. Mikamiria, Masa, near questions. Yakotu Obama, na elected as presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party. Now we call the re-election now, who could do Kugwa, and for so many was. I wasted effort. Because ultimately, the main prize is the presidency of Ghana, not the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party. Inti enoni ebibia omo Simon Yokumo omo dwene ho kwachira ke beboa won. Are they interested in electing a presidential candidate, or they interested in electing the president of Ghana? That's what one. That's what we should know. Can ye? Anna Masa, we should meet Timuka Kre Bipe. Sure. Sa Super Delegates Congress ya omoko in Nimpa 5. Mathematically, it is possible say obi hobe kwasa Congress now obenya zero votes. Now, so main Congress will be doing.
It's possible.
It's possible mathematically.
Really?
It is our first round, and can't be it doesn't say anything. Because you can go to the first round and win 90% and still lose at the main Congress. Until you see a BBA, as will be a trainer doing Kojinaso. Obi Obetia could be 15%, maybe 5%. Now, so the delegates Nankasa Bijinawa who were dinkunim. I don't place too much value on this first round. The unfairness, the arrangement will be so unfair to some people who have grassroots support, but who are not, as Atik says, establishment candidates. We favor establishment candidates, but establishment candidates may not necessarily win the real elections. Which means 90% at this one. It means nothing. In terms of, there's all shared numbers now. We, there's a Nipa not do so 900. Meanwhile, Nipa 200,000.
Over that, right?
And you know, and cash, and it's so unfair.
100,000.
But San Oma Jetu Musobe or Munioma. It's meanwhile. Anamasa. Yeka bayinara. Say people be doing queen. Ejina Nipa sitina munne. What's in American say? Alanche Martin Baumia Kobnia Japan Ken Japan so bedding kunim in the national election. Ejina ya sitre munne. That is what is going to determine whether MPP wins or not. Inti ho and I say focus no ba. Na ya ka media review budget ya ka hu se bebre kitwa bia medi krosu no kra. Masa. Yeni anu MPP. Don't they realize the mere fact that it is still Kenu Foriata who is in charge and presenting the budget, it's a problem, it's a major hurdle for them. Can't they realize that? Anywho, if you saw people from the Beckham budget, now the reaction would have been the same. Certainly not. Yeah. This is a manner. MPP for Ankasa Beka say, Omonoma. NDC for Omonoma. Oma Penisi, Omano Kranka Kranon Kwa, Oyedi New Beko. Or that's or presenting media review. Abba! Now people ni pass on one. Make one interest you. MP nipa ni mu biem. Say nipa bebrebe ya omo biya omo
brilliant minds.
Omo way. Say omo ina asa. Nipa ba ko pe. And the economy as well MPP.
They have the man.
Not the man, no, the man. Yeah, I like that.
Assembly, no ankasa kura no.
Wabre.
Papa nankasa kura no. Ohun so oha ne ho.
Ati komre, wabre ngozi form jaisa. Komre.
Ono ohun so oha ne ho. Adi ebiem no ba beyo. Why are there 7 long years? adie biem 1 year kai enkonya ben na betuma beyi ntiase o ebi amuna mutiase
na wo antiase ho na betiase
na me tiache no oye mmobo me hu papa no so ko parliament na dia oye mmobo
adai
na wo no mmobo
David so wabere na oti ya wo ne widie mu a oh he knows himself better than
you and breku na make na wo ankasa wo party
obe ten
party for so bo number
obe
opponent so bo number of wo ye de
obe kundungu be
onko so no ye de etie
Can you for that be ye
nana yo
ene ni
na presi ka about for yata say and achima jamba people ye nwa no this is almost the same problem
ade
ya ka somebody mahama ba omo chances no ebe ha drink
na won tell advantage some NDC be win
Jose
o percent NDC win
but Jose
oh
I'm actually my dream baso
o percent NDC win aba
Debi nti have the pass somebody mahama and American
nti wo so e won the pass e
we said no now okay we say the same because sometimes you know sana okay na if be rigidity be your
chinchina twan
because I say me I can't baby ejina Muhammad nso ya kan ejina baby ejina
Jordan na dey ba dwa so on fankofia wo beto na be
but unim because we say me chitum pa say senga this is only nipa from in a buy
nipa from say hwan
o ni nipa pie wa party
say hwan
oh anybody party
me nkasa me say hwan say wo ni mo mu che me wo na na ni wo parliament
who can of rather than what say hwan
hey and the bebre kwa
Bobby
masa ni party
Bobby na muslim Bobby keke dia
oh buache jako
okay we
fantastic no so Bobby back up
met me
Bobby
bebre
na dey want to be Joshua Alabimba enti nipa na epi wo party no
na Joshua Alabimba na mo nko finance mo presidential candidate is that good they will not give him to
but only party no only empathy
and muji to so to be president
only empathy me say omo kofo bi from bar
nana mabo
campaign
nana mabo
na first round no kwame nana ya first round no yen fam for obi win elections until our person go second round they just to prune the number to 5 that's all into betimi add for first round no fine na nipa na ekoto aba no first round no omunya besa to aba in the second round but almost omuya be 900
less than 1000
and na nipa na ekoto aba no ombo akoka 200,000 want to aba no nti no de who win here no chance na be win second but it's just to prune it to 5
Martin
to get me
nana me da say I think me da say of a brat me da say no pay me da was papa also for her and no pay e brebe me kwan e ma ye de dwumadi esi Dr. Father Dixon Kennedy Asante say also for Kojo Asante 7 bar 4 Peter Square Isaac Kokrokoo Pretty Joyce ma me bia makwa for me da mo se mo na mbo mi chidom e ma me betena mu e ma chairman general Kwame Sefa kan Kofi Kombese ne mo tran kopim se premo e beto ye frame nana ya okese obetimi afreme the cardinal the radio asundwe ejam